Welcome to another C1 Advanced ESL-lounge reading lesson video. Today we will be reading the unintended consequences of algorithmic bias in healthcare. Let's begin with some vocabulary. To perpetuate, to make something continue for a long time. To amplify, to increase the size or effect of something. To entrench, to establish something very firmly so that it is difficult to change. To exacerbate, to make a problem worse. Disproportionately, in a way that is too large or too small in comparison with something else. Skewed, not accurate or correct because of a bias. Distorted. Proxy, something that you use to represent something else. To institutionalize, to make something a normal and accepted part of a system. Opacity, the quality of being difficult to understand or see through. Auditable, able to be officially examined to check for correctness. Great. Now you know the key words, let's read the story. Artificial intelligence promises to revolutionize healthcare, offering the potential for faster, more accurate diagnoses and personalized treatment plans. Yet, as these powerful systems are integrated into hospitals and clinics, a critical and dangerous issue has emerged: algorithmic bias. An algorithm is only as objective as the data it is trained on, and if that data reflects existing human biases, the AI systems can learn to perpetuate and even amplify them. This creates unintended consequences where the very technology designed to improve health outcomes can end up entrenching and exacerbating societal inequalities. The root of the problem often lies in the historical data used to train medical AI. For decades, much of medical research has disproportionately focused on subjects of European descent, particularly white males. End of page 1. Let's continue. Consequently, the vast datasets of medical images, clinical trial results, and patient records used to build AI models are often not representative of the full diversity of the human population. The AI learns from this skewed data and assumes it represents an objective truth. For example, a diagnostic algorithm trained predominantly on images of skin conditions on light skin may be significantly less accurate at identifying the same conditions, such as melanoma, on darker skin tones. This is not a malicious act by the algorithm, but a direct reflection of the biases present in its training material, leading to potentially life-threatening delays in diagnosis for minority patients. This bias extends beyond diagnostics into resource allocation. In the United States, a widely used algorithm designed to identify patients who would benefit most from extra medical care was found to be racially biased. End of page 2. Let's continue. The algorithm used a patient's past healthcare costs as a proxy for their level of sickness, operating on the assumption that sicker people generate higher costs. However, due to systemic inequalities in access to care, Black patients at the same level of illness often had lower healthcare costs than white patients. The algorithm therefore incorrectly concluded that they were healthier, and as a result, allocated fewer resources to them. The system was designed to predict cost, not sickness, and in doing so, it institutionalized a racial bias that had profound real-world consequences. The problem is further complicated by the black box nature of many AI systems, where even their creators cannot fully explain how they reach specific decisions. This opacity makes it difficult to identify when bias is occurring, and even harder to correct it. End of page 3. Let's continue. Additionally, the pressure to deploy AI solutions quickly in competitive healthcare markets often means that thorough bias testing is overlooked. When these systems are implemented at scale, they can affect thousands of patients before problems are discovered, creating systematic disadvantages that mirror and amplify existing healthcare disparities across entire populations. Addressing this problem is a complex challenge. It is not simply a case of abandoning AI in medicine, as its potential benefits are too significant to ignore. The solution requires a multifaceted approach. Firstly, data scientists and medical researchers must actively work to create more diverse and representative datasets. Secondly, the algorithms themselves need to be designed with fairness as a core principle, and they must be transparent and auditable so that we can understand how they arrive at their conclusions. End of page 4. Let's continue. Finally, it requires continuous oversight from doctors and ethicists who can recognize and correct for biases that the technology might miss. The promise of AI in healthcare is real, but realizing it equitably depends on our ability to confront and correct the human biases encoded within our data. Okay, time for a few questions to check your understanding. Question 1. What does the author identify as the primary cause of algorithmic bias in healthcare AI? A. The inability of AI to process the complexity of human biology. B. The algorithms are not powerful enough to process medical data. C. That the AI systems are merely echoing flaws found in their source material. D. The technology is too new and has not been tested sufficiently. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text explains that an algorithm is only as objective as its training data, and if that data reflects existing human biases, the AI will learn them. Question 2. The example of the diagnostic AI for skin conditions illustrates A. A deliberate effort by programmers to exclude certain demographics. B. The technical limitations of cameras in capturing diverse skin tones. C. That such diagnostic tools are fundamentally too complex for current technology. D. That a system's objectivity does not prevent it from producing discriminatory outcomes. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is D. The text makes it clear that the bias is not a malicious act, but a direct reflection of flawed training data, leading to negative outcomes. Question 3. What was the fundamental flaw in the resource allocation algorithm mentioned in the text? A. It incorrectly assumed that black patients and white patients have different diseases. B. It used a patient's address as the main indicator of their health needs. C. It failed to account for genetic differences between racial groups when making predictions. D. It mistook a financial metric for a reliable clinical one. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is D. The text states the system was designed to predict cost, not sickness, using healthcare costs as a proxy for illness. Question 4. What does the black box nature of some AI systems make it difficult to do? A. To update the systems with new medical information. B. To make the systems run faster on hospital computers. C. To trace the logical steps that led to a particular outcome. D. To fine-tune their accuracy for specific patient groups. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text explains that due to their opacity, even the creators of AI systems cannot fully explain how they reach specific decisions. Question 5. Which of the following is not mentioned as part of the solution to algorithmic bias? A. Abandoning the use of AI in medicine altogether. B. Creating more diverse and representative datasets. C. Designing algorithms to be more transparent and auditable. D. Ensuring continuous oversight from human doctors and ethicists. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is A. The text explicitly states that abandoning AI is not the solution, but then mentions creating diverse data, designing fair algorithms, and human oversight as necessary steps. Question 6. What is the author's final conclusion about the future of AI in healthcare? A. The most important step forward is to create completely unbiased datasets. B. It will soon replace the need for human doctors and ethicists completely. C. The technology's potential for good is conditional on addressing the societal flaws it reflects. D. The problem of algorithmic bias is a minor issue that will be solved automatically over time. Pause the video now to think about your answer. The correct answer is C. The text concludes that realizing AI's promise equitably depends on our ability to confront and correct the human biases encoded within our data. Let's quickly summarize the lesson. On this screen, you can review the main points of the text and the key vocabulary. Finally, here are a few discussion questions. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching this ESL Lounge video. Don't forget to subscribe for more lessons, and we'll see you in the next one.